If you're applying for the O-1 artist visa and I'm trying to figure out how to craft great letters of recommendation, watch this video for a how-to guide and top 5 tips on crafting testimonials that will get your O-1 visa approved. Hi everyone, my name is Marcus and I'm an immigration attorney. Welcome back to our O-1 visa process series where we examine in depth the O-1 artist visa application process. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like so that you can gain access to all our information. Today, I specifically want to be talking about letters of recommendation. So who exactly can write these letters of recommendation? And the answer is experts in the field. What does expert in the field mean? So if you just graduated yesterday, you are not considered an expert in the field. If you've been working in the field for a while, like a couple of years, you have a few credits underneath your belt, yes, you are considered an expert in the field and therefore can write these letters. Also, these experts in the field don't necessarily have to be US citizens or US based. For example, people who are considered experts in like a foreign country can definitely write these letters for you. Sometimes people ask me, is it a good idea to include letters from professors or teachers? And I don't really think it's a great idea to include them. I think if you're super desperate, you might want to put 1 or 2. But if you put in letters from your teachers, yeah, sure, they're considered experts in the field, but it also tells immigration that you just graduated and probably are not considered extraordinary. So there are 2 ways where letters of recommendation can feature in your O-1 artist visa application. First of all, as evidentiary criteria by itself. So as you know, if you've been following the videos, there are 7 evidentiary criteria, and if you can meet 3 out of 7, you are considered extraordinary. So one of the evidentiary criteria specifically states that the beneficiary must have significant recognition for achievements written by experts in the field in the form of testimonials. So basically that means letters of recommendation. The second way that letters of recommendation can feature in the O-1 application is by being supplemental evidence for the other evidentiary criteria as well. So for example, one of the other evidentiary criteria is the beneficiary must have played a lead or starring role in a production that's distinguished. So how do you prove that? So one way is to get the letter, someone from the production like the writer or the director or a fellow actor, to specifically state in their letter of recommendation that you played a lead role and why the production is considered distinguished. So now your expert in the field has agreed to write a letter of recommendation for you. Now what? Now you got to figure out exactly what this letter of recommendation is going to look like. So I have a handy dandy guide on my website and I'm going to post the link down below so you guys can access it for free. But basically, a letter of recommendation breaks down into 3 parts. Part 1 is the bio of the person writing the letter. Part 2 is how exactly they know you. And part 3, what exactly your achievements are and why they are considered significant. Next, I'm going to go through 5 tips in terms of like what you should include in your letters so that you can write really great letters and get your visa approved. Let's go through all 5 now. Tip number 1, include the date of the letter. I know it sounds really simple, but it is very, very important that you include the date on your letter of recommendation because it gives it this certain air of legitimacy when immigration looks at your letter of recommendation. Letters that don't have dates may cause immigration to suspect that this might not even be a legitimate letter in the first place. So it's so important, please include the date on the letter. Tip number 2, include a detailed bio of the person writing the letter. Remember when we were talking about experts in the field just a few seconds ago? How do you prove that? Through a detailed bio. If you don't put the detailed bio of the person down, how is immigration supposed to figure out if this person is an expert in the field or not? So you want to include things like, does the person have any awards? Does the person have any, like what kind of experience they have? What kind of productions they've had? What kind of person that they work with? What kind of school they went to? And give as much detail as possible. Tip number 3, include the contact information of the person writing the letter. Again, sounds really simple, but the contact information is key to proving that your letter is legitimate. If there's no contact information, immigration has no idea who this person is or even how to contact them or whether this letter is even real or not. So put the contact information down. Tip number 4, give specific examples of your achievements. A big part of getting great letters of recommendation is explaining why your achievements are considered significant in the field. So you want to give specific examples. You don't just want to say things like, oh, you are really, really talented, or this person is, has a lot of potential, or something like that. Those aren't considered achievements. So you want to be more specific. Like, for example, if you have an award, what kind of award is it? Who gave the award? Why is this award significant? And of course, there are other things that may be considered achievements as well. Like, for example, if you were, cast in a really prestigious show or something like that, that could also be considered an achievement. But the person writing the letter really needs to go in depth and in detail when it comes to your achievements in order to meet this criteria.
Tip number 5, avoid words that show that you are not extraordinary.
So there are some words that immigration doesn't really like. For example, upcoming, young, talented. So these words sort of sound good, right? No. Actually, they only tell immigration that you have potential, that you will be extraordinary in the future. So you want to avoid words that say things like young and upcoming. This person is going to be a great asset to the American industry in the future. You want to tell immigration that you are already extraordinary, not that you will be considered extraordinary in the future. And that brings us to the end of this video regarding letters of recommendation. So if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe so that we can continue this conversation online.